Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of Age of Geek, the podcast. We have to make sure everyone knows it's a podcast, just in case you're confused about this podcast that is podcasting as we podcast.
I think we made that joke last time.
I'm really glad that Jake called that out on the last episode because I was really confused if I was listening to an Audible audiobook when listening to our podcast. So.
I need to make sure our listeners are not confused. If you're watching on YouTube, they can see our face. So they're like, is this YouTube? Is this a podcast? What is going on? And I like to keep things simple. No, yes.
So nice of you.
Yeah, I'm here for them.
I'm glad that you're really truly caring about our listeners.
Yeah, that's me, just caring and thoughtful always. By the way, I am Steph.
I'm Marlee.
Shaking your head.
I'm Marlee, and I shake my head at Steph all the time.
I'm Collin.
And we're so excited to have a guest on with us tonight. John, give us a little introduction of yourself.
Hey, everybody. My name is John Peterson. I go by Peterson on my podcast. I've been podcasting about video games for almost 5 years now on a show called the 3-Bit Gamer Show. And we're just a weekly podcast, all things gaming, news and new games and stories and wacky bits, pretty much anything we can think of that we think is funny or interesting or silly or maybe not even interesting. We still do it. So a lot of musical numbers just because we just do stuff.
Okay.
If we like it, we do it. So that's our show. So yeah, and I met Steph and Marlee, golly, maybe 3 to 4 years ago.
It was
Something
definitely
like
pre-pandemic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's kind of the new time.
Yeah, that's how we keep
where
time
we
these days.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it all blurs.
Our reference.
That.
Yeah, it's our
True.
reference. So it's like, did this happen before 2020? Then okay.
We got to do this in person without mask. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Isn't that what podcasting is about? Putting your thoughts out there and hoping someone likes it. So you're like, I think I'm interesting. I hope someone else does too. Oh, well, we are glad you're here. Tonight, we're going to be talking. Well, okay. Sorry. I should have done a better introduction. Where last week was this world premiere on HBO of The Last of Us series on HBO. Did I already say HBO? Am I just going to say HBO 17
It's fine.
times?
HBO is a sponsor of this episode of Age of Geek Media.
Yes.
We have to contractually say it several times in a row.
But it made us think of all the other video game adaptations that have come out recently and are going to be coming out in the next little bit. So that's what our episode is going to be about tonight, is video game adaptations. All of us are gamers, no matter social, deep dive into the stories, or noobs. I guess, okay, I don't classify myself as a noob anymore. I need people to know. When we started Cutscenes and Cupcakes, I was definitely the noob gamer.
Yes.
I'm not claiming that title anymore. I'm definitely moderate.
Look at you go.
He's moved up. It's like moving
Yes.
from like
Wow.
bronze to silver or something.
Yes.
Wait. Marlee, have you advanced?
Are you kidding me? Yes, of course I have.
Okay, just checking. I just want to make sure. Do you guys have like promotion schedules that you guys are going off of? Like, do you have to complete this many games before you advance to like the next level?
Maybe you'll have to listen to our season premiere coming out on February 1st
Oh,
to
good.
find out.
Oh, shameless plug. All right.
Yeah.
So shameless.
A little bit.
So have you guys watched the first episode of Last of Us?
Yes.
Yep.
Everyone has. Okay, there will. It's so funny because like there will be spoilers, but it's of a game that's been out for
Forever.
Like 10 years.
So
It's been out long enough for them to re-release it like 2 or 3 times now. So
exactly.
Like
And
more
each
like
time
5
it's-
times.
And each time that it's been re-released, Marlee has played it.
Yes, that is
oh my
true.
goodness.
Accurate. And even then, like when because I would play the game on like other people's PlayStations or other, and when I bought my very first PlayStation 4, my own money and everything, I had to christen it the right way. And that was by playing The Last of Us, because it's my favorite game. And I did that, and it was great. So I don't, guys, I don't even know how many times I've played through the first game or watched other people play it or even parts of it. Like I don't know the number.
She dreams in Last of Us now.
It's
I just hear that
Oh
soul
man,
music.
that would be rough. You're dreaming of something completely random, and all of a sudden a clicker just comes out of nowhere and starts
Oh my
devouring.
gosh. That would be terrifying.
When you've played as
wait.
many times as you have, though, it's not as scary anymore.
Yeah,
You're
Marlee's like,
got
I
this."
know.
No,
I got
it. No, it's still terrifying. Okay, wait. I just have to ask because it just happened. Like it came out like less than 2 hours ago. Did you guys watch the second episode?
No.
Okay,
I have
did.
children that needed to go to sleep. I didn't feel like putting them in front of the
Yeah,
Last of Us.
that's fair.
For
The
some
best
reason,
option.
our children do not want to watch that.
No, I'm just kidding. Well, it's probably good because this episode was a little bit scary. I'll be honest. I was like, there was definitely some, butt cheek clenches going on.
You see, in
I
the
did
in the
not know where
first
that
one,
sentence was going.
I was already just kind of on edge because I'm just like, I know what happens. I know what happens.
You're like, maybe
Yeah.
this time Ellie doesn't die.
Well,
But
she doesn't die.
She doesn't die though.
You mean
Steph.
his daughter? at
Ellie,
the
damn
beginning?
it! I'm sorry.
Sarah?
guys. I
What is
meant
Sarah? Yeah.
I was like, geez, like we're jumping ahead quite a bit.
Yeah,
They changed a lot.
they changed a lot.
Episode 1, Ellie's dead. It's a crazy
So much
show.
for part 2.
This completely.
This is going to
I
be
guess they
one
can just
episode.
end the story
one
now.
Guys,
season
it's
show.
not Halo. They didn't deviate that far from the source material.
Oh my
The
gosh,
Last
have you
of Us
seen
Master
that?
Chief Edition.
Okay, wait, have you
Yes.
seen the Halo TV series? I've seen like the first like 2 episodes.
I watched all of it.
What do you think about it?
I didn't even know it
Yeah.
came out yet.
I
Oh
angrily
yeah, it
watched
came out
all
like
of
a year ago.
Angry.
I spitefully watched it. So I watched it. I'm not joking. So I could talk crap about it on my podcast
Oh
Love it.
because
man.
it
I love it.
is bad, guys.
Oh yeah, I hated it. I also don't really have a lot of like interest in Halo, to be honest. Like I grew up playing it, but not really like story mode or anything. Like it was just get on with friends and survive. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So it's
Marlee
like
and I.
Go
Sorry, I
ahead,
was gonna say Marlee and I are still bitter that all the guys would have LAN Halo parties and wouldn't invite us
in high school, yeah.
in high school.
Yes.
Dumb
But
boys.
anyway, so I don't have like a super big connection to Halo, but I was with some friends like last year. It was like April or something. But anyways, they like threw on the Halo show and I was like, "Why are we watching this? This doesn't even look good."
It's bad.
It was bad. It was bad. And we didn't continue watching it. Instead, we watched Severance and that was a much better choice.
Good
Did
choice.
you guys watch the Halo web series that they did a long time ago?
Red versus Blue?
No, not that one.
I was gonna say, is Red versus
Wow.
Blue
No, they-
canon over
they
the
did
new TV
a-
show?
I don't
No.
know. I don't know.
They did an actual live action like web series with Master Chief, and it was actually really good. And I was
How many
pretty-
times
pretty
did you see
surprised by
his
it?
butt? Because we did see it once at least in the TV show.
Oh,
There was no butts.
Dude, well, what even is this show?
Ain't Master Chief if you can't see a butt.
Did he take off his mask immediately like they did in the Halo TV show? Because that's what he did.
What?
He doesn't
Wait.
even he has his helmet off more than he has it on in the show.
Oh.
Okay, anyways,
I'm just picturing
bad.
Master Chief played by Pedro Pascal, the Mandalorian, and you never see his face. That's
It's-
not the same show?
it's not,
No.
but Mandalorian did a better job of hiding face than Master Chief.
Yes.
Oh,
Until they didn't.
so sad.
But yes, that's one example of video game adaptation gone wrong.
There's a lot.
There's a
other
lot
ones to
more.
talk about. BuzzFeed, though, the very I was going to say extinguished, distinguished is the word I'm looking for, and great website BuzzFeed is calling The Last of Us the best video game adaptation of all time. So, what do you guys think about that?
I would concur with that so far.
I agree completely.
Yeah, I would say they've got great source material, right? Because The Last of Us, especially that beginning sequence. I mean, we'll
Jeez.
still see where they go from here. They could still commit some cardinal sins, But that opening part of Last of Us, the game, is super cinematic, and they stuck to it. I feel like
Yeah.
I played it one time, and I feel like I knew what was going to happen, and it did.
Yeah.
Right? So I was like, they nailed episode 1 because that's what you wanted to see.
Yeah, and it was impressive how like shot to shot it
Yep.
was.
Yeah.
And line by line
Yeah.
too. And even in the second episode, there were very specific things that they did as well. And sure, they're taking they're definitely trying to make it make sense for a TV adaptation. And actually, so make sure you guys watch, yes, be nerds like me and watch the very end of the episodes where they do kind of like a quick little like behind the scenes blurb and Neil Druckmann talks.
I actually love that HBO does that.
Yes.
too.
Yes. Okay. So make sure you watch the one, especially for episode 2, because it was really informative. But anyways, like I heard someone else tell me, I don't know where they got the source, but maybe like in an interview that they watched of Neil Druckmann talking about the show. But basically, anytime the TV show people wanted to like change something from the game material, they had to come to Neil Druckmann and have it like meet a certain criteria. Like it had to make it better, essentially. Like if you're going to change it, it needs to like you need to like basically give me a PowerPoint presentation as to why it would be better than what I did in the game, kind of.
Yeah.
Not not to say that the game is like totally perfect by any means, because sure, there's some different plot points and other things that pop up that you're kind of like, I don't know why I'm doing this. I just know I need to kill these bad guys because they're in my way.
Yeah.
And in the show, they kind of eliminate that and they give a different reason and an objective. And I'm like, I'm okay with this. This makes sense for this. So, yeah.
I thought the first episode felt like in several parts felt like a video game.
Mhm.
Like he was getting at the end of the episode, he gets his quest, right? It makes
Mhm.
no sense. I mean, it kind of makes sense, but they're like, hey, you showed up and we're gonna hand you this girl now to do this like super important thing. And he's like, all right, because he's the main character, right? So it's like
Yeah.
you got
Yeah.
your story quest, and it really felt video gamey. Like if they would have said, okay, now turn on your controller and you're playing, I would have been like, all right, I guess I'm playing Last of Us now.
Right.
And so it felt very video gamey. I'd say my biggest nit about the first episode was and I'm a big fan of like world building, and they didn't do much world building. They just
Right.
kind of, you jump into it and you're just like going.
Yeah.
And so I felt like if you had never played the games, like, what are you doing? Why are you watching the show? But if you haven't played the games, you'd be like, wait, what is happening? Why can't you go outside the city? And like, who are these? What's this
And
police force? And who are these Firefly people?
all of
Like
a sudden they're burning
Yeah,
bodies. And
these
you're like,
random
"Jeez,
factions that have
okay."
now been created.
Yeah, and playing the game, I'm like, I get it. In the show, I was like, I'm not sure I would fully understand what's going on, but it really felt like they did that on purpose, though, because they wanted to stick to what happens at the prologue of The Last of Us. They really
Right.
wanted to get that in there on episode 1. So I do respect that decision, but that was my only nit.
I can see that. Yeah. I was actually talking to my boss at work about it. And she was like, "Oh, I watched that." And I'm like, You did?" I'm like, "Wait, what did you think about it?" And I'm like, "Wait, you've not played the game, or you know nothing about the game, right?" And she's like, "No, I don't know anything about the game." And she has 4 sons. And she, I was like, "You've got to have at least heard about it or something." But anyway, she was watching it with her sons, and she said it. She's like, "Actually, I really liked it. It was definitely intense at some parts and kind of scary, but yeah, no, I can see why people like it." So I was just so curious. I'm like, why? Yeah, who are these people that have never played the game that are like, what draws them to this show? That's what I'm curious about.
All the ads for every other HBO movie they watched. It's
Yeah.
the
That's
beginning
true.
of everything.
That is true. It's the marketing.
It'll
Plus
be
people.
interesting. Go for it,
Go
Collin.
ahead, Steph.
No, you.
No,
You.
I insist.
You. Do it. It'll
Ah,
be okay. I'm going then.
do it.
It'll be interesting to see if this can translate into non-gamers picking up gaming more. I feel like this could maybe do that. And then, oh, what was the other There's another game. Or
Don't say
TV show.
Uncharted.
Oh no. We'll talk about Uncharted. We have many thoughts on Uncharted.
Look at John's face.
Oh man.
Yay!
Oh, there was another
Oh.
game. I can't think of it now that was turned into a something that I'm like, oh, you could maybe see people wanting to be like, oh, I should pick up this game. Because video gaming is still like that thing that like nerdy people do in their basements. And it's like, no, this is more widespread. This is good storytelling. It's okay to indulge in these types of things. And it's not just basement dwellers, and I don't know. I feel like that's some of the people in like my family and that are just like, oh, you were gaming last night, you played games with your friends. I'm like, yeah, mom, I did. Okay.
Oh, every time I talk to my mom about video games, she's the same way.
I don't even bring it up at work. I work in a very like professional environment with lots of I would say 40 to 50 something year old folks. And if I bring it up, they're like, "You play video games? What are you? What kind of kid are you?"
You're like,
Go
I also
home.
have a video game podcast, but
Yeah,
that's
you're
a
like,
different
I don't
story.
even want to even start now. I
Go
don't
home,
want-
drink
never
your
mind.
code red, and then don't leave the
Yeah.
TV the rest of the night. Just neglect. Yeah. So yeah, I hope that it might be able to translate into like, hey, video games have cool stories to them.
Mhm.
I think part of the drive towards it too, as a TV show now, is a lot of people are coming off the high of The Walking Dead finally being,
That is true.
put to rest, and so
We needed our zombies again.
yep.
I did
This'll fit
love.
that void
I-
for sure.
I loved the beginning of how they started the episode, how they really primed you with those scientists talking on that television show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And he primes you big time for like, oh, this is going to be a zombie thing, because then it just throws you into it. It doesn't,
Yeah.
they don't talk about how the outbreak happened, where it started. It just starts off with Sarah and you're kind of following her. And you know it's going to happen though, because they primed you really well with that whole
Yeah.
mushroom thing. And I was like, I thought that was extremely well done. Just kind of setting you up for understanding that was where they were heading.
Oh,
Yeah.
just you
Right.
wait till episode 2. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh,
Okay, but did you guys recognize who that scientist was in that opening scene? It took
No.
me a minute.
Oh yes.
It's the guy from the Mummy. It's
Jonathan from the
Jonathan.
Mummy.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Collin, he's like no
Oh
one
my
cares.
goodness.
I guess I'm not
I-
that big of a Mummy fan.
What?
I've
loved
seen it
that
like a
show.
couple times, so I don't know
Oh
if I
my
would
gosh.
recognize that.
Yeah, I like freaked out. Well, because like he was talking, and he's a lot older now, obviously, or there's makeup or
Obviously.
something. But anyways, I recognized the voice, and I'm like, who is this guy? And then it like clicked, and I just started yelling like Jonathan, and like so much so that we missed what he was saying, and we had to rewind it.
Yeah.
Okay, you
Oh.
guys, I just need you to know that according to RottenTomatoes.com, Angry Birds 2, not even the first one, 2, is rated number 2 on their list of best video game movies.
Okay, so Rotten
Oh.
Tomatoes doesn't know what they're talking about.
So-
Right?
no.
They
So
Well-
they've really set the bar high.
yeah.
I guess if they
Wow.
are talking movies exclusively, though, the movies have been rough.
I think I might want to watch Angry Birds 2 over Uncharted again. That's not something I want to submit.
I want to
myself
hear your thoughts about Uncharted then.
Let's
I
do
have
it.
some thoughts
Let's-
about it, but I want to hear
Let's
what
get
you
into
have.
it.
I think the biggest thing so we did an entire episode on cutscenes and cupcakes. It was a Uncharted roast because we went and saw it together and just talked crap about it for like an hour after. Tom Holland is not Nathan Drake. He is
Dude, that
such
was
a
weird
baby.
choice.
He was, when he was behind the bar in the first scenes, you're like, are you legal to be in this establishment? You are a
See, it's like
child.
21st birthday. This-
Uh-huh.
I also didn't like why am I only thinking of Andy Warhol?
Mark
Who plays
Wahlberg?
Sully? Mark Wahlberg.
Marky Mark.
Yeah, Marky Mark is not Sully. I feel like Sully's such a lovable a-hole, but in
He's like
this
gruff.
he was just an a-hole. You're like, you don't have the lovable part. You're just being a douchebag. You need to calm down, Sully.
Well, and he was like kind of like a pretty boy douchebag too. Like, or and like Sully, I mean, yeah, he's got more of like the silver fox thing going on, if anything. He's
Like
supposed to
Tom
be
Selleck
older.
should be
Yeah.
Sully.
Yeah, and he's like, they
Yeah.
got
Marky
Marky
Mark
Mark
is
in there
not
with his.
Tom Selleck.
So here was
Um,
my thought about it. The only way to enjoy that movie is to view it in the same universe as, like, do you remember the movie Sahara or National Treasure?
Yes.
It is that.
Oh
okay.
my
It's as
gosh.
hokey
Yes.
as those, as unbelievable as those. Because
Yes.
don't they like shoot a helicopter out of the sky with a cannon or something at one
And
point?
there's the two floating boats that they're carrying by helicopter too.
Oh yeah, these like boats that are hundreds of years old being like flown aggressively through the sky. Yeah. So the only way to enjoy this is not an Uncharted movie. This
Right.
is in the same vein as Sahara or National Treasure. It's
Oh
just
my gosh.
nonsense, hokey, silly treasure hunt.
It even has the like family feel to it too. Like when they kill Antonio Banderas and slice his throat, there is no blood, and you're like, that is not how neck injuries work.
Yeah, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
that checks out.
Yeah, I think
That's
he's still alive, you
believable.
guys. You didn't get any of the arteries.
And like, how many times did they get double crossed? You were like, all
Yeah.
right, guys, you've used that trope like 7 times now.
Yeah.
And Sully, his only line is, I told you not to trust anybody. I told you.
Also,
you're
how
like,
much
oh,
was
gosh.
it Papa John's pay to be in that damn movie? They
Oh
have
my
that
gosh.
entire scene in it, and it's
Yep.
like Papa John's, Papa John's, Papa John's everywhere. And just
Oh,
like,
goodness.
you're in Italy, you're in Europe. Like,
Mm-mm.
this is the
Papa
restaurant
John's
you're
taking over the pizza scene.
You
in
literally
Italy.
never see like
So bad.
I've never seen a Papa John's when I've been in Italy. Like
you don't
it's just-
feel the need to go to a
No.
subpar pizza restaurant when
No.
you're in and the Italy itself,
no,
the
not at all.
birthplace of pizza.
I
Go
would
to
rather
Naples.
I
Pick
would
up
rather
a
just stop
pepperoni
by
pizza.
any random place in there and they will have better pizza.
Oh my goodness.
It was, and it I felt bad because it was like we went and we were talking crap like right outside of it, and then all these youths come out and they're like, yeah, it was great, I love Tom Holland. I'm just like, you don't know, you young foolish children.
Oh, so you didn't play Uncharted then? Cool.
Exactly. Cool.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, really. Like people who did like that movie didn't play the games.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like,
And
okay,
I think
well,
you're right, John. They
hmm.
took it kind of as just like, oh, this is a fun adventure movie. Like
It could have not been
Marky
Uncharted,
Mark.
and it would have been like probably better received because you'd be like, "Oh yeah, that was fun and silly."
Yeah.
And how do you go from being like this scrappy like orphan kid to all of a sudden being caught in a net in an airplane and like literally trying to jump back in? Like there's no chance that you're going to survive jumping back into that plane.
The hardened streets of New York prepared him for all of that.
The bartending.
You don't know
the
what you've been
pickpocketing.
through,
I
Collin.
don't know.
He's got the
You're
skills
right.
of the Assassin Creed.
I shouldn't judge that heavily.
No, I have like one tiny thing that I liked about that movie, and it was kind of near the what?
The end.
Yes.
Popcorn was
No,
great.
it was
When the-
near. Oh yeah, the popcorn was really delicious. No, it was that moment when again they're on the ships and they're flying through the air, and Tom Holland puts on like I can't remember if he already has the gun holster or if he puts it on, but either way, all of a sudden he like looks like he's like in the Nathan Drake iconic outfit, and you hear the theme music go on for like 2 seconds, and I'm like, oh, that was cool. And then it was over, and then it was just dumb, like the rest of it. And I was like, okay, well, that's all ruined now, so never mind.
I feel so bad because Tom Holland can't help his face. It's not his fault that he looks like a child.
It works in some movies.
It's straight up casting, yeah.
and I think he's adorable in Spider-Man. Excellent.
Perfect.
I just
when
really
he's
hope
in high school in Spider-Man, he does.
I know, right? I just really hope they're not planning on making more Uncharted movies, because they're totally like they purposely set it up this way, like especially with choosing younger, actors to play these two parts of Nathan and Sully, because then they can like build up, but
They're
at the
gonna
same time, like, please don't make any more.
they're
Please
gonna
don't.
fight dead Nazis, but they're not gonna be
No.
mean Nazis. They're going to be like they're just going to like dumb down all of the villains in it.
Zombie
Unfortunately,
Nazis.
it made a lot of money because it cost to make 120 million, and they got 401.
Uncharted 2, baby. Here we come.
Here we
Yeah.
come.
Marky
Skip.
Mark. Take his shirt off.
Wish them the best.
So let me ask you then, because of talking video game adaptations, how do you guys feel? What are your thoughts about the upcoming Mario movie?
Ooh.
I'm stoked. My 6-year-old has watched the preview for it 723 times.
Nice.
She's really into Mario games. We have the Switch and we play a bunch of the Mario games. So she's stoked. And I think it looks really cute. I think Jack Black as Bowser is the perfect casting.
So good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. If anything, I'm most excited for that. And I think it'll be a fun movie. I mean, sure, there's a lot of upset over Chris Pratt. But like, who was it? Steph,
We've
was
only
it your
heard like 2 lines.
Okay,
Yeah,
but one of the
but
lines
Steph
was
was-
"Here we come" instead of "Here we go." And why? Why? Were they just trying to piss us all
And
off?
I don't know who I was talking to or like who else was there, but Steph, I'm pretty sure it was your husband Blake who said something like, because I think we were in like a big group setting, but he was saying like, I'm actually okay that it's Chris Pratt in some ways, because like from the games, the only things we ever hear Mario actually say are like Yahoo and whoa, like he only makes sound effects. He doesn't
Wait,
really
what was
talk.
that again?
Those were pretty good, Marlee.
Yeah.
And thank you. So like to have like an actual like person who is, I mean, Chris Pratt is an experienced voice actor. He did the Lego movies,
He
you
was
know what I
great in the
mean?
Lego movie. That is true.
And so and onward, but anyway, so like we know that he can do it. It's just not what we're used to, but like again, Mario the character, he doesn't say much anyways.
Well, and
So this is all going to be new.
the Mario voice is like kind of a caricature of Italian accents as well. So I don't know if it'd be the best to continue on with the "It's a me, a Mario" the entire time, because that's not authentic.
I wish that was his only line, a la Groot. I wish he just
Yes.
said,
Oh my
I
gosh.
could be down
"Me,
with
a
that.
Mario. I'm gonna win." Yeah, I think honestly it'll be forgettable in terms of like his performance as Mario. Like it's not gonna be take away from the movie. Whereas I think someone like Jack Black will add to it. Some of the other voice actors are gonna be a lot of fun in there. Chris Pratt is vanilla enough to where I don't think you're gonna be halfway through the movie, you're not gonna be like, that's Chris Pratt. He's doing a terrible job, right? You're just gonna kind of get over it. I think the movie will probably be very, just based off the previews, very fan servicey.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Um,
Totally.
which could be fun, but it could, I don't know, it could be like too much, a little too hokey. But we'll see. I think it'll be as enjoyable as the Sonic movie, right?
Yeah.
It like you'll
I
like
really
it,
like
you're not
the
gonna hate
Sonic
it.
movie.
Yeah, I mean, it was
Yeah.
good. I'm not gonna watch it 10 more times, but it was good.
Unfortunately, I've watched it 10 more times.
I was
because of
gonna
my child.
Collin's a huge fan.
My kid, we had a Sonic birthday party for Aria this year.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the second movie, he's just fallen in love with, and so we watched that at least once a week. It's great. But the first couple times that I watched it, I actually really enjoyed it, and like I thought that Jim Carrey was the perfect Eggman
Eggman.
Nailed
to
it.
put in
Oh
that,
my
and like
gosh. He's so
absolutely
good.
crushed it.
So good.
Yeah.
I think they're definitely gearing some of, especially Sonic and Mario, towards kids. And so I definitely think Mario is going to be geared towards kids and have kind of like the kids' movies, I don't know, annoyingness, but also charmingness to it. So hopefully, okay. So we went and saw Puss in Boots, and it was amazing. So hopefully,
Yes, it
that
really was
Oh
though.
no, it was so bad.
You
No,
didn't like
my.
it?
I
Colin,
hated
I
it.
loved it.
I thought it was really
I
cute.
couldn't wait for it to end.
No, Blake and I walked down and were like, that movie had no right to be as good as it is.
Yeah, seriously, I loved
So,
it. Have you
I
seen
think
it,
they're
John?
gonna fight you, Colin. I
I
have not seen
know.
it, but I have no affinity towards the Puss in Boots character
Me
in general.
neither.
So I was like,
Me neither. I mean, I like cats. I'm a huge cat lady, but like the only thing I know about Puss in Boots is when he shows up in Shrek 2. Like this Puss in Boots, obviously. There's like all the storybooks and whatever, but I didn't see any of the other Puss in Boots. Like
I didn't either.
I think it was just one movie that he was in, or was there two others? Anyways,
Also,
this
they
movie,
allude
yeah.
to a Shrek 4, which I'm so ready for it.
oh my
I love
gosh.
Shrek.
That is
Shrek's the
true.
bomb.
That is true. But yeah, I thought it was a lot of fun. I mean, me and my husband went with his brother and like family, so we like went with kids, and like they loved it, and so it was fun to like watch it with them as well. But it was also just like we were laughing so hard. Like there's a lot of good stuff for like even like the adults watching it. And I feel like that's very much the same with like Sonic the Hedgehog 1 and 2, especially with cute little James Marsden. I just adore him.
So I think what they've found is kind of that secret sauce when it comes to making some of these the cartoony adaptations
Mm-hmm.
for kids, but also enjoyable for adults. So like we've got Detective Pikachu,
Oh,
which I
yes.
think kicked it off. Then
It was
Sonic,
great.
and now we're gonna have Mario, and I think they'll do a great job with all of those. And then it seems like The Witcher kind of kicked off the more adult themed video games, and now we've got The Last of Us. And so I think we're gonna start seeing, and they've kind of got that formula. Now, do I think The Witcher is doing a great job story-wise? And plus we've lost Henry Cavill, which is a huge shame.
And we're
Don't want to
replacing him
talk
with
about
Liam
it.
Hemsworth, and I'm
Yeah.
just not.
I think that series is on its way out, but I think what they did find was a really great way to kind of portray. We kind of want some of those darker, edgier games
Right.
portrayed that way, and so we got The Last of Us. We're going to see that, just continue seeing that very HBO style, and so I think they're coming into their own, right?
Right.
Because they have video game adaptations historically have sucked.
What are you
Oh,
talking
I know,
about?
like
Mario
Tomb
Brothers?
Raider,
It's all
Tomb
bad.
Raider, Assassin's Creed, even the latest Mortal Kombat movie. Like, sure, there were
Warcraft.
parts of
Oh
it that
no,
were
Marlee.
okay.
Do
Warcraft,
not group the latest Mortal Kombat in with
Oh, I did.
Tomb Raider and Mario and Assassin's Creed.
Have you seen it?
Yes, I watched it on maternity leave. Thank you.
I think the only thing I really liked about that movie was just totally drawing a blank. Scorpion and what's the other one?
Sub-Zero.
Sub-Zero, thank you. Like I thought that was kind of fun to like see a little bit more about them, and like some of the action was fun, but other than that, it was actually a pretty forgettable movie.
Yeah, I don't even remember the story if I'm being 100% honest, but that's like Mortal Kombat, right? If you'd say,
Yeah.
"Hey,
But yeah,
you've played Mortal Kombat, what's the story behind it?" I'm like, "I don't know, some dudes fight for I don't know. There's a guy who punches people in the balls. Like I don't understand. I don't know it." Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, it is one of those games where the story is not there in the game that much, and so you have to look into the lore. And so it is fun to kind of dive into the stories of the characters we've known for forever, but don't necessarily know their lore and know their story, their backstories. Speaking of Tomb Raider, again, according to Rotten Tomatoes, the new Tomb Raider is rated number 7 in the best video game adaptations, and the old one is
What's
24th.
number 1? I gotta know. on
Number
this list we're
1
looking at.
is
didn't you say it was Angry Birds?
Werewolves
That
Within.
was 2.
Oh,
What?
Werewolves
Within.
The
with-
ever popular game
Within?
Werewolves Within. What are we doing here?
No, isn't that the Marvel short that they
No.
just did?
No, it has No one
What
that I
is
know
this?
in it. I'm going to share my
Okay,
screen with you
wait.
guys.
Okay,
I feel like
wait.
we have to
It's
watch this and we're gonna be like, this movie was freaking dope.
Yeah.
okay. It came out in 2021, and it's listed as a horror/comedy.
Yeah, it's the Marvel Studios one, so it's not a video game adaptation. It's a
No,
comic.
this is a
Is
totally
it?
different movie, Colin.
Because someone famous was in the new one, and these are people that we don't know. Do you guys know who Sam Richardson is?
You're
Or
talking about
Milana
you're talking about
Weintraub?
werewolf. You're talking about Werewolf by Night or something like that.
Oh, okay.
That's the
So,
Marvel one that you're talking
I
about.
don't know what this is.
Is this a game? I have to look this up to see if there's a game called this. This is crazy.
Yeah, where? Oh, it is Werewolves Within. It's
Little indie
Ubisoft.
game? Oh no,
No, it's
Ubisoft.
Ubisoft.
Oh, I know what this is.
Oh,
This is
it's a VR game.
This
That's
is
why.
that it's like werewolf, and it's like the one where you all sit in a circle and debate who did it, who's the werewolf, and who's the you've got a sheriff or whatever and a werewolf.
Yeah.
They
We
made
used
a
to play that
video
game at
of
girls'
this?
camp.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, this of all the ideas, this one is maybe the roughest.
I guess
Wow.
it's a
But
VR
it's-
game, and that's maybe why none of us have. I don't know. I don't have VR, so I have not delved into that
It's weird.
territory.
I have 2 VR headsets and I never use any of them. So
I was gonna say though about Tomb Raider, because like I almost feel like I like the old Tomb Raider movies better, with
I
Angelina
agree.
Jolie, than I do this one that we're looking at right now that came out in 2018, and that's mostly because like I grew up watching the Angelina Jolie one, and I thought it was like a fun action adventure kind of movie. I didn't know anything about the games, but I thought they were fun, and then I played the games like the newer ones, and then I watched this movie and I'm like, this movie really sucked. They tried too hard is what happened in it. Like there were definitely a lot of elements that they did right in that movie from the games, but then they took the story in like a completely different direction and it tanked, and I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
I hated it.
Can you scroll back up to number 22 for me for a second here?
You don't agree with this?
No.
number
I do
22,
not.
Super Mario Bros. The 1993 one.
Oh no.
Ooh,
no.
with
Be
Bob
at, like, the
Hoskins.
bottom of the list.
What is the bottom of the list?
Oh my.
Oh, how is anything worse than that?
There's a lot worse.
There's
than
the Assassin's Creed that came out with
Man.
Alone
Michael
in the Dark.
Fassbender. I never saw that one. Did you guys see that Assassin's Creed with Michael
No.
Fassbender?
No.
I didn't either.
No, I saw a preview and I was immediately like, oh, this can't be good.
Well, that was still in the era where we knew they weren't going to be good. So they're
Yeah.
like, oh, they're doing Assassin's Creed. It's going to suck. Cool.
That is
Yep.
true.
Well, let me ask you
I would have
this.
put the first Pokemon movie up way higher on that list.
Way
I
higher.
love the first
They're not bad.
Pokemon. I saw it in the theater as a child and
Yeah.
I cried when doesn't Mew die?
Nice. Spoiler
Yeah.
alert. My gosh.
Oh my, it's been out since I was a child. So if you haven't seen it, that's not
Wasn't
my
he
fault.
dying then come
Wow,
back?
Steph.
Yeah, like I can't remember, but I know
Because
I
of the
cried.
tears that were shed.
And my cousins had Pokemon stuffies that they brought with them.
Aw.
Yeah, it was cute.
That's amazing. Oh my
Well, let me
gosh.
ask you guys a question. Are there any adaptations coming up that you are looking forward to or excited about that have been announced but we haven't seen much about?
I think I have a kind of a list here in front of me too. A couple of my favorite video games are the like Horizon Zero Dawn and Forbidden West series, as well as the newer God of War ones, and those are both slated for TV show adaptations.
Yeah.
And I especially after seeing what they can do with Last of Us, sure, I know that's HBO. Now I think these are Netflix that's doing
Netflix
Horizon
does
and God of
Witcher
War?
though, and so
Yeah.
Netflix does Witcher, and you're right.
they can do okay.
Witcher, I really like the first 2 seasons, but I've not really played much of the game, so don't know how well it adapted,
They're more
but
book adaptations, to be honest.
I guess that's true. Yes, I guess I forgot about that part. But I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that they can do some good adaptations for these really big epic games, especially something like Horizon. Because have you played those, John? Have you?
Just the first one. I didn't play the second
Okay.
one.
Yeah, like I mean, just with the very like mechanical animals and stuff, and just the kind of post-apocalyptic world and everything. Like, I bet the effects would look really good.
That one's going to be an expensive adaptation because they'll have
Yes,
to do some.
Super.
If they make the animals look bad, it's over. Like they've
Yeah.
ruined it. So they do need to
Mhm.
spend some time and money on that one.
Yes,
And
definitely.
a lot of engineer design for it.
Whereas one I'm looking forward to that's been announced, a TV show, which I hope they do well, is Fallout. I
Oh,
Yeah.
think that they could do so many wacky things with Fallout, but they're not
That
going
would
to
be
need
cool.
so much CGI to make it good,
right.
right? They'll need good set design, but they're not going to need like CGI robot animals. So
Mhm.
on a lower budget, they could do a good job, but they could also make it terrible. I mean, Mass Effect is another one I'd love to see
Oh,
adapted, which they've
Yeah.
There's
yeah. I think there's
announced.
a plan. I think there's some sort of plan.
there's
Yeah.
a ton slated. I mean, they're supposed to be doing a BioShock TV show. A
I thought
Death
it was
Seen
just a
some stuff about
movie.
that. It's a movie, I
I
believe.
think it's a
Okay.
movie.
A Death Stranding.
Yeah.
No,
Ghost of
no.
Life.
Tsushima. It Takes Two. Metal Gear Solid.
Borderlands,
Pac-Man.
Minecraft.
I am worried they're going to go too fast though, and just try to like try to match the hype and start making them too quickly, and there'll be a lot of bummers out there for good games.
Yeah.
It'll end up turning into a DC massacre.
That's what I'm worried about. That's exactly what I'm worried about.
Sorry, Steph.
Colin's such a bummer about anything DC, which I'm about to hop on that train, but that's a different podcast.
But isn't it interesting though that like for the past like what 10 years, maybe a little bit more, we've been on such like a superhero movie kick, which I love. I love superhero movies. I love Marvel. DC has been doing okay, you know, for the most part, but at least they're entertaining.
Well,
But like
You mean like Uncharted is?
it's like same level. If you
Yeah,
watch
yeah,
it
yeah,
with
yeah.
Especially when we're talking about phase
But
5 of
like
Marvel.
I know. Wait, hey now. But the thing is, like, obviously there's still superhero movies that are coming out. Like Marvel has a lot of plans. We know this. And especially now that the pandemic has kind of caught up a little bit, things are gonna be spread out more. And so now it's almost like we're seeing like this shift into video game adaptations. It's
Mhm.
almost like they're like, well, we've got comic books. Comic books aren't going anywhere. We've got a lot of source material there. We'll keep making that stuff. But here's this other really great source of stories that we can play off of that there is a group of people who love these games, these stories and everything about them. They're obviously a huge money making thing, like especially these big AAA studios. And so now we're just like seeing all these adaptations. I mean, all of these announced ones, like it's almost like this just coming out of the woodworks.
Yeah. Well, it's like they've realized that the video game industry makes more money than every other media industry combined.
Right.
And they're like, hey, if we make these and don't do it terribly, we could make some money.
Mhm.
Interesting.
Well, it's so fun. I
Crazy
mean,
how that works.
nerds spend money, and my cousins were talking about nerdy people, and they're like, yeah, I don't even remember what they're saying, but I'm like, you could say the same thing about people who like sports, like they're nerdy for sports, or like they're nerdy for other types of film, but because it's like nerd centered, video game centered, it's like this bigger thing, and it's like, just stop. It's mainstream now. You're not cool to not be a nerd. You're not cool to not like it. I'm not cool to be a nerd, but don't make it such a thing anymore.
Like if you didn't like Lord of the Rings, you can just get out of here because
For
that's like the
reals.
nerdiest thing ever. And if you didn't like that, then just I don't know what
Yep.
to tell you.
Yeah. I would love if they did a God of War TV show, but I also would be very worried about the casting, and would want them to start with Norse God of War.
Yeah. Oh,
Sorry
totally.
to be that person, but I'd rather them do
when the story got really good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
And you get
Mhm.
Papa Kratos.
Do you
He's
think
great.
that Tom Holland could play Kratos?
Yes.
Tom Holland is a young Kratos. I see it perfectly.
No, no, no,
Look, it's
no.
Right
either
there.
that or Dwayne the Rock Johnson. You get two choices. Pick one.
Not inaccurate.
Just throw some white paint on him. Give him a
I
red
mean,
tattoo.
he's not doing Black Adam anymore, so he's free.
Yeah,
throw
he's
him on God of
looking for
War.
a universe to try to hijack and take over again.
Henry Cavill
no.
can't do everything in the video game arena.
Yeah,
Yes, he can, Steph.
Yeah, because he's
And
he's
he
gonna
will.
do Warhammer now, right?
Warhammer.
I guess.
Producing and acting.
This is how you use a
so-
hammer, right?
Yes.
Yes,
That is how.
it's like he took lessons.
Yes.
Oh my
They're gonna do
goodness.
motion cap on me.
Yes. What
I-
adaptations are you guys excited for that are coming up? John, Colin, you guys haven't. Your turn.
So I will say, so I did bring up Fallout, which
Oh
I'm
yes, you
super
did bring
excited
out
about.
Fallout.
But one actually show that I would totally forget. I forget about it every time I have this conversation. But Arcane, did you guys watch Arcane?
Mm-mm.
It's been on our list for forever because we're like, we should
Guys,
do an
I loved
episode on
it.
it.
I loved it. I actively hate League of Legends. It was like one of
Yeah.
those things where it was my favorite game, and now I'm like, I hate you, League of Legends.
That's what I was
And-
gonna say. I don't play League, and I've also heard that it's actively not a great space for women.
Oh yeah, Riot Games is a disaster.
No.
Okay, so those are the two things it has against it. But the show itself, very, very good. Good enough to where I'm excited for season 2, and I really, really want it. So I really liked Arcane. I thought they did a good job despite being the scummiest studio out there. They did a good adaptation.
I need to get on that one, that for sure.
But you're not excited for the forecasted Halo 2 or Halo
Oh,
season
I am
2?
gonna spitefully watch
No.
season 2. You don't even know. Season 1. Oh, guys, it's so bad. It's like they took the source material and they were like, we're gonna do everything the opposite of this. Oh, you want Master Chief? Guess what? He's never gonna be in his Master Chief armor ever. Like he almost was never in it. The only times it was good
So
is when they
weird.
actually did fight scenes, and you don't get your first real fight scene. Okay, this is a Halo show. It's a fighting game. You don't get your first fight scene until like episode 4.
Wow.
Guys, it's bad. Every decision they made was wrong. I could talk about this for another hour, which we don't have, but
Do they ever get the
Oh,
warthog?
yeah, oh, for sure. They get into Warthog and they're like, you guys see the Warthog? And you're like, shut up, I already hate you.
It's too late.
There's
You can't
no
redeem yourself
redemption
now.
for you guys.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
What-
I would probably say I don't know. I'm a big Mega Man fan. So if they do that right,
That could be really
I
fun.
could see that.
Would that be a cartoon or live action?
It's hard to imagine it as a live action.
It is hard. I was
Tom
just trying to
Holland
think about
could play Mega Man.
Tom Holland. He never wears the Mega Man outfit. He's just running around
Right?
doing his own thing.
We're going to take a note out of the 2 best video game adaptations, Halo and
Uncharted.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
They should
So
come to us for
good.
ideas.
Guys, don't
We're
put this
full
out
of
into
them.
the ether because it'll become a reality.
Oh my gosh.
And
Oh my gosh. No one, please.
don't put it out there.
Oh my.
Are there any games not slated or not been talked about that you think would make really good TV or movies? And I will say, I think Henry Cavill as Arthur Morgan would be fantastic. In a Red
I'd watch the crap out of that.
Yeah, Red Dead would be pretty fun, I think.
like I said, I don't think Henry Cavill should save the entire video game universe, but I do think he'd be an adorable Arthur.
I would be okay with that.
Yeah, I think Red Dead is a great one. I think that would be because you could make some beautiful sets too. Because
Oh,
that
yeah.
game, if anything, has going for it is just gorgeous to look at. Yeah, Red Dead would be really fun. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I'd want to see. I mean, they haven't even talked about Elder Scrolls, any of that, and I think there's like so much they're kind of scared away from it.
Well,
But they
wouldn't that
could do
just be
some
like
cool stuff with that.
rated R Lord of the Rings? Oh, I'm thinking of Elden Ring.
Look, that's a great selling point,
You're
though.
thinking, yeah,
I
you're
mean,
like
rated
the
R Lord of the
Skyrim.
Rings. I got
You're
super
all ready.
excited. I was like, dude, I'm in for that. Steph, great idea.
Oh my goodness. You know,
Um,
if we're gonna go, oh sorry, were you gonna go, John?
Colin.
Oh, that was Colin. Sorry.
I was, but it's okay. You got this.
Um, if we're gonna go into more of a horror game route, there's two games that I actually think would make really good adaptations. Probably movie over TV show, but the first one would be Until Dawn. I think that would make a really good movie. Or The Quarry. So they're actually made by the same studios, and they're very like, like decision based, but for the most part, there's not that many different kinds of endings that you can get with those. It might just depend on who survives.
They're
So, I
already
mean,
really cinematic.
So yeah, and like they could really play around with that with the different characters and but like even just the scary elements of the games and like there's so much lore involved with them, like that you find, with all the different clues and everything, that it's like they could make a really good horror movie out of these games. And I would love it.
Rami Malek would for sure have to reprise his role.
Yes, how fun would it be if they actually got those same actors to play them in that?
Yeah, isn't it Rami and then Hayden Panettiere and
Panettiere,
whatever, and then the chick from Superstore. She's so ditzy in Superstore.
I can tell you one that I hope I have heard rumblings of, and I hope they don't make, is a Fortnite movie. It will be, guys.
What?
Ninja will be
They have a
starring
Fortnite
in
studio.
it.
They have Fortnite Studios.
Oh no!
They made a like a TV and video or movie studio, but guys, it will be so awful. There will be way too much like emoting and like
dancing.
I can already
Dabbing.
picture it, and I already hate it so much. All the things that I don't like about Fortnite, like, will be in it a lot.
Okay, but did you see Free Guy?
Yes.
I feel like they kind of made that already. Like
Yeah.
Free Guy in a way is kind of Fortnite-ish.
Free Guy's Grand Theft Auto.
Meets
RPG.
Fortnite.
Yeah. I honestly thought Free Guy was really good.
Oh, I loved Free
Yeah,
Guy.
Free Guy's one of the best. I feel like one of the best video game movies that's not about a specific video game.
Video game theme.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you just do I think Fortnite has enough source material where they could do something to it. Yeah, I mean, if you've been playing it since season 1, they've got like all these crazy things have happened. My kids could tell you it. I'm like, I never know what's going on. I just play and like, oh, the guns have changed. But yeah, I think it would be really rough. The other one that I never want to see an adaptation of is Kingdom Hearts. I think it would be so convoluted and insane that you would be. I never want to see that.
I feel like you barely understand the storyline in Kingdom Hearts as is.
Yes. Oh, well, I mean,
Tom
Kingdom
Holland
Hearts
could be
is
Sora,
just
though.
Oh my gosh. Tom Holland plays Sora. The Rock plays. Let's see, who would The Rock
Donald
play?
Duck.
Donald. This is okay.
Oh my gosh.
Oh god.
Will he have pants on? That's the question.
I hope not.
Is this Kingdom Hearts rated R?
Look, Donald Duck doesn't have pants, so
I
if we're
mean,
sticking true to the source material.
You're not wrong.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I don't know if they've stopped production or even haven't even started production, but I really want to see Knights of the Old Republic. Come
Colin's talking about Star Wars. Why?
I know,
Dude.
shocking.
But for real though, Colin, if they made a KOTOR if they just straight up adapted that into a movie or a TV show, I want everything to be a TV
Yep.
show. They did a TV show, I am in for that. That's one of the best Star
100%.
Wars stories out there.
Yeah. I'd be
Oh.
like Marlee and watching it like an hour of the drop.
Oh yeah.
Kind of watch it from jump.
Oh
Yeah.
so good.
I know where I'll be at 7:00 every Sunday night for the next few weeks.
I think that Outlook is looking good. So I am
Mhm.
excited for the things that are slated, and hope that they don't butcher some of our favorite titles. So
They're bound to
It's-
butcher some of them, but they're
It's
bound to
just-
get some right too, which I'm okay with, right? As long as they're doing them and they nail some of them,
right.
I'm okay
Mhm.
with that. Everything doesn't need to be a home run. I just want something to be a home run.
Yeah. I heard that.
What is
Oh.
going
Victory
on?
Royale.
Well, John, thank you so much for joining us tonight, talking about video games, some of our favorite things. So we
Yeah,
loved
thanks for
having
having
you.
me.
Tell us again where we can find you. And yeah.
Any place where you listen to podcasts, it's called the 3-Bit Gamer Show. Big yellow logo. Anywhere you listen, you can find us. We post every Tuesday, and in 5 years we've never missed a week. So just going strong.
Wow.
That's
Jeez.
impressive.
We
Yeah.
can't say the same.
No.
Sometimes
Quite
I wish we did
unfortunate.
it like that because it is. Sometimes it's exhausting, but once we get it on every week and have a great time with it, so I
Good.
can't complain. We love it.
Yeah, and we've loved when we've been able. Well, I've been on your show. No one else has, and it was super fun. Both you and JD are great. So
Oh, thank you. You guys are
Ye-
great.
stop. One day you'll collect all the cupcakes, but until then,
Yeah, I'm here.
Marlee, we're gonna get you on.
Yes.
we would love for all you dear listeners to join our Discord. We're fun. People like talking to us, so you could be one of those people. And
Really selling it.
We won't love you until you join the Discord, is what Steph is saying. Join the
All the cool
Discord.
people
I mean,
in
I
here.
You've earned our
didn't
love.
say that, but yeah,
That's
it's
what I
not.
heard. You better get on there.
You can also find us on all the social media places. So thank you guys all so much for listening. And I hope you guys, I always say have a great night. I don't know when in the world you're
Great
listening
night,
to this.
morning.
So have a good
Have a good one. Yeah, have a good
Life?
A
one.
good
Yeah.
brunch.
Is
Yeah.
I think the appropriate. Have a good day.
Yes, there we go.
It sounds so formal.
Have a good day.
Farewell, my friends, and have a lovely afternoon / evening.
Bye.
Bye.
This has been an Age of Geek media production.